Minecraft time. Time to be serious. Is it time for, no. You know what? I think while we're under the campfire light, campers, let's bring it down a bit and tell a spooky camp story. It's not gonna be too scary. It's just gonna be an experience that happened to me a couple of years ago when I was like 18. Me and my little sister, we were having a sleepover. And now my little sister loves horror movies just as much as I do. And I decided it was time to show her, since she's a fan of horror movies, the classic Halloween, because she'd never seen the original yet. And it was going fine. It was going great. And so one of my older sister, she told us that they were going to be leaving, and I'll tell you this because it's probably important for later. So it's finally wrapping up to the end of the movie, right? The climax of the movie, the big scary part, you know, Michael's chasing Laurie, and it's all intense. And all of a sudden, the basement door opens. Our stepmom was upstairs, my stepmom, not her stepmom, sleeping, and my sisters were gone. So nobody else is supposed to be there but me and Ava. Now, what you should know is that you can enter the house from the basement. The way the basement door swung open, it would, if you're sitting in the living room, it would block view of whoever's coming out, which normally isn't bad unless you think somebody isn't supposed to be there. And so mind you, while the audio of this horror movie is playing, like on the TV, we hear footsteps. Just, we hear the door open and footsteps crawl out. And a few things were going through my head that night. Because I was like, is somebody breaking into our house? Because if they're gonna come and hurt me, I am not the person to defend my little sister. My little sister was braver than I was, because she went to go check on the danger to see what it was. Bless her soul. It probably was nothing in retrospect. It's probably just a combination of watching a slasher movie and that opening at when you're not expecting it to. Because like I said earlier, my sister told us they were leaving to go to a party. So I suspect they must have come back for something. But the door opened, and we looked at each other and we went quiet. We went silent. The two of us, we were like, what are we gonna do? And so we didn't say a word. The people who broke in, most likely being my sisters, they rummaged through the kitchen, they left, and the rest of the night was quiet. But we were shaken up. Why would they just break into the kitchen and take nothing? That makes no sense whatsoever. So it probably makes more sense that it was just my sisters, like, coming back to get something or something. Zombie. Okay, another spooky story time with Cass. This was when I was living at the old house. Because if you don't know, me and my parents on my mom's side. This is a story about my mom's side now. So I got one on my dad's side and one on my mom's side. Because if you don't know, my mom and my dad never married. And so the first story was when I was at my dad's house, and the second one will be when I was at my mom's house. So I lived at my mom's most of the time, so I had friends there from school. My mom had, like, full custody. There was this one night that I had a friend from elementary school over, and we were just sitting in our room, perfectly normal, sitting in my room, perfectly normal. I think we may have been, like, playing, just think of a multiplayer DS game from back in the day. Metroid Prime Hunters, maybe that's what it was. I think that's what it was. So what happened was, we were just sitting there playing our DSs, and there was a window, like, right next to my bed, and 3 loud bangs on the window. To this day, still have no clue who did that. If it was just a random prank, if it was like my brother or my stepdad just trying to fuck with us. But 3 random, like, bangs. These weren't just like quiet knocks. They were bangs on my window, and they didn't happen again for the rest of the night. I can't explain it, but ooh, spooky. You know, talking about the spooky stuff and the old house. We used to live in, like, a neighborhood, because when we moved away from there at my mom's house, when we moved to a different house, we didn't live in a neighborhood anymore. We lived out in the country. So I didn't really get to have these neighborhood experiences anymore. Like, I had people that I could ride my bike to and hang out with, and that was so cool. That was so fun. And going trick-or-treating, it's a big memory of mine. I loved that, because there was always that one house that I wouldn't approach because it was way too scary. But then, and I begged my stepdad to go up for me and get me the candy. But if I wanted the candy, I had to go up and do it myself, and I couldn't I just couldn't. I was too scared. Fun fact, you wouldn't know this about me because of how much I love horror movies today, but I used to be terrified of horror movies. Like, deadly terrified. Of course, then I took a broadcasting class in high school, and then I learned how to make movies, and that ignited my interest for the art. And then I learned that, like, they're all fake. I learned how they were made, and I gained a respect for the genre, and that's how I started. That's how I got into horror movies. But I used to be afraid of horror movies, like deathly afraid. I think my imagination for what it was going to be was probably worse than the movie itself. You son of a bitch. Party City. If you don't know what that is, it's a party store, but during the Halloween season, that's like their Christmas season. I'm gonna show you guys something cool. This is related.
Party City Halloween. Thousands of costumes that'll make you scream. Party City. Nobody has more Halloween for less.
Now this commercial used to terrify me, and I don't know why. I always used to hide behind the couch whenever that would come on. That's actually a real story, because I was so terrified of that commercial. But I think it's probably because that skeleton kid at the beginning. Like, literally when that popped up on my screen, I had flashbacks, and I actually looked next to me because I had like chills go down my spine. It still freaks me out. Just keep that skull kid away from me. Yeah, keep that Ryuji. Stay away from me. Stay away from me, skull kid. Ooh. Ah! Oh god, I thought the Enderman was attacking me. Party City is kind of like Spirit Halloween, but they're not open just during Halloween. They're open year-round because, as the name implies, it's a party store. You buy like supplies for birthday parties and other kind of parties there. But during Halloween, it turns into like Halloween candy and Halloween costumes and Halloween decorations. So basically, that's why I said at the beginning of the story time that Party City's Halloween time is basically their Christmas time. In fact, funny story, I know this is completely unrelated, but I knew somebody who worked at a Party City. And speaking of Christmas time, on Black Friday, they get so little customers that if you work there, you don't even have to show up. The first ever costume that I ever wore for Halloween was when I was really little. My mom dressed me up as Winnie the Pooh. So I was Winnie the Pooh one year, I think I was Elmo the next year, and the year after that, I was Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. This was just before this was when my mom was deciding my costumes for me. The first year that I ever got to choose what I wanted to dress up for Halloween, I dressed up as Spider-Man. Spider-Man's gonna be a theme. I've dressed up as Spider-Man many times for Halloween. I dressed up as a Ghostbuster one year. That was fun. Shit! This is called a scary car commercial, and my cousins pranked me with this. This is giving me Nom flashbacks. Oh god. Nope, 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 can't do it. Nope, nope, can't do it. Shit. Oh, I'm dying. I was going to get scared, and that's why I stopped. Damn it, I was such a pussy. So that was called the scary car commercial, and you wanna know how I got scared by that? My cousin Bella, she must have known about it beforehand, and she scared us with it. She scared me and my 3 other cousins that were over at the time. But she was like, you gotta look really closely. She was like, you gotta look really closely because there's a ghost. If you look close enough, there's a ghost. So what it does, it has you like zoomed in, hyper focused in on the screen, and then like when you're close, it'll go bah. That's how the scare works. Self-proclaimed horror buff Cass can't handle an internet jump scare. That's the first thing that scared me as a kid. But when that happened, I was so scared that I wouldn't even go into the computer room. I'm about to play you guys a sound. You guys ready? It's not a scary sound. These things are unintentional. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. Please don't laugh at me. It wasn't scary for like, I'm so scared, that kind of scary. It was scary as in eerie. Like, Okay, first off, when I was playing that system late at night, I knew I wasn't even supposed to be on it in the first place. So I think that's where part of the scare came from. Like, oh no, what if I get caught? Because real talk, that startup sound was way louder than it had any right to be. It was literally ear rape before its time. Like, ear rape before ear rape was a thing. It wasn't like scary. It wasn't like, oh my god, I'm pissing my pants. No, it just kind of sent a chill down my spine because I didn't know where this disembodied place was. I didn't know what would happen if you fell at the bottom of the pit, at the bottom of the PlayStation Pit. TM. That's the new PlayStation system, PlayStation Pit. No, that unknowing, that scared me. Alright, there's one more thing that I'm gonna play before we end the stream. But before we do, I need you to do something. Raise your right hand and put it on your heart, and you're gonna have to repeat after me. Cass is a grown woman. The secret that she is about to share with me is embarrassing. Just because she was afraid of it once does not mean that she is afraid of it now. I, as an audience member, will be mature, and I will not laugh at her. Okay? We good? We understand each other now? You ready? This is gonna be so anticlimactic, but I literally have to silence my headphone because this scares me so much. Okay, you ready? Don't laugh at me.
And now we're pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
And then it's just dead silent. It's just dead silent. I don't know why that terrified me as much as it did, but whenever that thing would come out, a little context, that is a little thing that would play before your movie would play on like these Nickelodeon VHS tapes that we used to have. And I have a few theories as to why that scared me so much. I think it's the unknown. Like, who is this guy? And why is the music so loud? Why does it blare in my face? Because, mind you, before this, the commercials weren't that loud. They weren't in my face. And then as soon as it started, it's just silent. I didn't know who this guy, why he's telling me this. I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight because I'm awakening childhood trauma. I used to hide under the blankets, and I used to like turn down the volume on the TV all the way. We used to have this TV that had both a VHS player and a DVD player built in. I think it's always I've been afraid of, what if I come home and my TV just turns on and that's what plays? And you just don't know what it is. I don't know what it is that scares me, but I've always kind of had nightmares that guy, that the voice was seriously like, was like a secret serial killer. Ooh. And then that's what he says before you die. Ooh, that's what the nightmares that I had when I was a kid. It's weird. Ooh, I got another one. This is fun. So I know you haven't watched SpongeBob, so you won't know what this is from, but this is from an episode called Wormy. If you don't know what Wormy is, I don't need to sleep right now, and I'm not going to be able to sleep after all of this. So imagine this. I'm going to set the scene for you. So Wormy, an episode of SpongeBob. Imagine this. Alright, you're a kid and you've just come home. Our school had like a daytime and an afternoon time kindergarten, and I did the daytime kindergarten. So imagine this. You're a kid and you come home from kindergarten just to watch some SpongeBob cartoons. And the episode that happens to play is Wormy. Now, anybody who has watched Wormy probably knows why this terrified me so much. But the plot of the episode goes like this. Sandy has SpongeBob and Patrick look after some of her pets, and one of them happens to be a caterpillar that they nickname Wormy. They don't know it's a caterpillar because they're sea creatures, so they don't know what a caterpillar is. So they don't know that a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. And overnight, Wormy turns into a butterfly, and they think that Wormy was eaten by a monster. So the episode's good, by the way. It's just one moment out of the episode that traumatized me, and apparently I'm not alone. This is the moment that freaked me out so bad. So every time this episode would come on, and that clip right there would play, I'm playing as little of it as possible because I don't want to get copyright. It was a 1-second gag, so it wasn't enough to ruin the episode. But little old baby Cass, can you imagine like Chibi Cass hiding under her blanket? I would jump behind the couch. That's how much it scared me. But once it was over, it was over. I'm an adult. I rewatch SpongeBob. Who cares? I'm a grown-up. It's totally a grown-up activity. But whenever I'm rewatching SpongeBob, I don't hide anymore. But it's still unsettling. Plus, I fucking hate buzzing sounds. That's like the one sound that I just cannot stand. I'm rubbing my eyes, so that's how you know I'm tired. This has been one hell of a stream. We went from talking about camping to the Memphis trip to me being scared by Wormy. and everything in between. Since I'm getting a little bit sleepy, I'm gonna let Cass go to sleep.